Hello, everyone. We're back. Second try on this one. Bert's mic problems. Luckily, we only did like 10 minutes this time, but
It was 4, but yeah.
easy profit. Abandon again. That's what we mentioned earlier. So it's just the two of us. Cobra
Yeah.
Kai is the topic. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
The last 5 episodes of it. Luckily, we've already pretty much remembered the first one in our last attempt. So. To give a brief summary of episode 1, which is one of the
I was able to sign into my Netflix.
Let's go. Episode 1's one of the, or I guess it's 11, but episode 1 of the last 5 parts. It's fine. I mean, like, there's nothing huge that happens, and it just kind of like explains how we're continuing from the insane events of.
We get a little funeral for Quan.
Yeah, there's a little funeral for Quan. You see that Kreese cares. He's like, this shouldn't have happened. He's thinking to himself. You can clearly tell. It's like, wow, Kreese cares. And then besides that, we see Terry Silver go to like the guy in charge of the Sekai Taikai, and he's basically like, hey, we shouldn't fucking not finish this. And then
yeah, because we find out that Terry's. Do we find
that's
that
later
now?
Okay. He's like, we should finish this fight or finish this like tournament, and the guy's like, nah, someone just died. And he's like, well, do you really want that to be the last thing that ever happened in the freaking history of this tournament? So he convinces the guy, but the guy's like still skeptical, and he's like, well, I'll do it if you can convince everyone, all senseis, to agree. So that leaves the rest of the episode is basically Terry Silver going sensei to sensei, trying to get people to agree. Johnny is kind of an easy yes because he like wanted to anyways, pretty much.
He like just needed a slight push.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of like at a crossroads with karate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where like as soon as he had a kid coming on the way, and he like saw how overdone it all became, especially with someone dying.
Yeah.
So he was like, maybe this is my time to step away.
But he's like, given a chance, I'll take it.
Yeah, but then like Silver was like, you can't let your students, like, you have to let your students see their victories through, win or loss.
Yep.
I think was like the argument he made, and that kind of persuaded him. Yeah.
The hard ones though were Kreese and Daniel. You wouldn't expect Kreese, but this death really affected him. Kreese does end up getting convinced. I can't remember like if it was this one or the next one, but his basic thing was basically just like he's only doing it because he wanted Tori to be able to do it.
Yeah, he wanted her to fight.
He didn't even end up like going as sensei. She was like just there, Cobra Kai, unconnected, like on her own, which was unlucky, but that was fine. And then Daniel was the actual hard one because he was like, Miyagi-Do way.
Died. Yeah, he was like, Miyagi-Do isn't even meant for fighting.
Yeah, what ended up kind of convincing him was he was pretty much just doing it for Johnny, not even because he wanted to.
He realized that Johnny kind of needed it.
Yeah. I think those are the main things of episode 1. Was there
the grandpa getting murdered?
Yeah, I just thought you were gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, at the very end of the episode, I don't know her name.
The Cobra Kai
lady.
Yeah, I don't know her name either.
She gets into like an argument with the grandpa or her dad, or no, it's her grandpa.
Yeah.
And he's basically like, go back to the tournament and like claim victory, be ruthless, and get revenge and whatever. And they have a big fight, and she ends up killing him and being like, no.
Yeah, and then
I'm tired of this grandpa.
She doesn't even go back. She's like, I'm doing my own Cobra Kai now.
Yeah, so then she looks over at Kreese, and she's like, I'm done. Like, I'll leave and never come back. This is the last time I see you. And he's like, fair enough. And then he leaves.
And never comes back, and it's the last time he sees her. Yeah, that wraps that one up.
That's the first episode.
Episode 2. The fights are back on. The training resumes. There's one thing I was very disappointed in. Not very disappointed in, but I would have really liked to see. And they almost did it, but then they didn't. There's like... Is it here that this is happening? I'm trying to think. When is it that like everyone who's going back is decided and some people... I'm trying to think.
Oh, I do not know the episode.
Anyways, at first, Tori doesn't want to even go back. She's like, "What's the point? You know, like, I can't win if it's just me." And
yeah,
are you gonna say something?
No, continue.
Okay, so Sam's like talking to Tori and trying to convince her. Well, can you help me train for mine if you're not gonna go? And this is where I my disappointment comes in. I think we should have, even if it wasn't in the tournament, we should have seen another Sam Tori fight, like in their training or something, to see who would actually
that would
win
have been cool
without like a cheating ref, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would have been cool, especially like because like both of them mentally stable now. Like, you know, they're not even competing and they're just practicing, and we see which one of them like wins. That would have been a good thing to see, I think.
Yeah, would have been like a bit of fan service.
Yeah,
sort of.
But they practice together. They're training together. It's going pretty well.
They have some nice conversation.
Yeah.
Talking about the fight in the future.
And I think like during this, Sam eventually convinces Tori to like actually go into the competition again, so she ends up going in again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. I liked that stuff between them too. I think that's pretty good. I like Tori. She's like pretty... I'm a big Tori fan, not a big Sam fan.
Yeah, Sam's kind of mid. In my opinion,
she just causes too many problems.
Especially with her and her boy drama in the earlier seasons.
What I'm saying, the first like 4 seasons, everything's her fault. It's not until we get to like actual murderers that there's bigger villains than her.
It just took going to a different country in a world tournament to finally find a worthy opponent.
That's true. We also get Miguel, Robbie, Hawk, and Dimitri, that's his name. Their little training thing. I thought that was dumb, honestly.
Yeah, the VR was kind of goofy. I don't even know how that would work. Because, it looks like
it doesn't make him better.
His speed.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Or his strength.
That doesn't just make Miguel as good as him. If anything, that would be better training for Miguel than Rob, because he'd be trained to know all of Axel's moves by doing them, you know?
Maybe that's why he was able to win.
Yeah, right?
I was actually thinking about that earlier,
They accidentally trained Miguel better.
Like, they had the headphones on him just telling what moves to do. He's like, maybe he just learned his moveset.
Oh, man. Like, it was a little funny, but I was like, this is a little bit too silly. But it wasn't... Luckily, it was short enough to where I wasn't like, okay, you know?
Yeah.
It also was like the only scenes with Hawk and Dimitri.
Yeah, they kind of disappeared a bit.
You know who... As an absolute certified hater of this character, both characters, you know who I'm glad disappeared in these last 5 was Lapusso and Kenny.
Yeah.
Did not exist in these episodes.
I was okay with that.
Yeah, so basically they're going through this training montage with Robbie because, you know, it's all that's left is
Robbie needs to get better.
Yeah, all that's left is Sam, Tori, and then whichever one of them against Zara, and then the Robbie Axel fight. That's like all that's remaining in the tournament. So during all this training, they're like, "Oh, we've somehow calculated your exact % chance of winning."
Not good, buddy.
Yeah, all terrible. I did think they joked about this a lot, which I think is kind of ridiculous, but I thought they were funny. Like, they just dog shitted on Kwan's death. Like, they just joked about him dying all the time. You know, like they're training Robbie during this episode. And he's like, my percent's so low. And Dimitri's like, that's a pretty high percent considering his last opponent died.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's kind of realistic, though. I feel like someone our age, their age, would do that.
Yeah, maybe. I thought that was funny, though. I was like, that was good. I like that. I think that's like the main stuff that happened in that episode. It's pretty much just training.
Yeah. Oh, and then
that might be where there's more.
There's a pregnancy. There's a what's her called? Who goes into labor?
What?
Did she go into labor? This episode?
Is that what happens? I thought the baby already existed. Talking about Carmen?
No, it was like born. Yeah. Wasn't that born this episode?
I don't know.
Because like he was worried about getting married. Because her mom was like,
oh yeah. Yeah, there was a whole thing where she's like, the baby's gonna be a bastard, and then Johnny like plans a whole proposal, but
he goes talk to a priest and he's like, I'm worried that I'm gonna have a bastard child and God's gonna be disappointed.
He's like,
and the priest is like, don't worry about being like having the perfect condition, just marry her.
Yeah.
So then he
plans the perfect thing. Nice. That was actually pretty nice.
Hey. And then right when someone was about to walk in,
he's like waiting for her to come home so he can propose, and turns out she fucking babied all over the place.
Yeah. He had a call instead being like, I'm at the hospital. So then he rushes over and he ends up proposing to her there while in labor.
They have like the whole wedding at the hospital too.
Yeah. And he had like some violin players come in. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it was cool. And then all like the family and stuff, and they get married. So that was nice. I think there's also a conversation, and I'm not sure if it's this one or the next one, but at some point there's a conversation between Tori and Kreese that was pretty good.
I'm thinking it's the next one.
All right.
But that's a good transition.
Yeah, we'll get into the next one. Then this episode had all the good conversations, and it had one that was amazing that I actually was fine with, like I expected that. But there was another one with characters that I did not think I would care to see them talk of, and I really liked too. So I think training's still going on, but mostly it's like character relationships in this episode and baby stuff. But there was, for the first one, because obviously the big one is the Johnny one, there was a moment between Tori and like the LaRusso family. That was one that I was like, do I care about this? But then I watched it and I was like, that was pretty cool. I liked that.
I care about this.
Yeah. Where she's basically just like, I got fucked, my mom died, and Amanda's LaRusso basically helped me all the time. And I was like, hell yeah, that was sick. I liked that.
Even after I treated her daughter like a piece of shit.
Yeah, that was good. I really liked that part. What did you think of that?
It was nice. It felt genuine.
Yeah, that was good. I think the fights also start this episode too, because this is Robbie's fight, I believe.
What do you mean?
This is where Robbie fights Axel in this episode.
Was it?
Yeah, because
I don't think it was.
It is, because I know this is the episode with the Johnny Kreese thing, and that happens after.
Episode 3? There's no way.
Yes. Because the ending is the Hype Miguel thing, and then the next episode is Miguel's fight.
I thought this episode they were like getting ready just to start the tournament.
Robbie has his fight this episode.
At the end of this episode, they're in the back of Daniel's backyard. They're all standing around, getting ready to go to the tournament.
Are you sure? Because I was pretty sure that...
I'm looking at the Netflix thing right now.
Does an episode not end with Miguel and Tori and Johnny walking in? Isn't there one that ends like that?
Let me just look at episode 4. But
I know it's not episode 4 because episode 5 is the sensei thing.
oh my god, I'm so dumb. I'm looking at episode 4, not.
I
at,
knew
like,
it. I am
13.
right. I freaking knew
Sorry,
it.
I'm so dumb.
You're just talking me out of truth. Okay, so I'm definitely right. Episode 3 is Robbie's fight. We have the Amanda LaRusso and Tori conversation. We have...
Yes. That I never remember. Yeah, you're right.
I'm always right. So that happens. We get Robbie's fight. So Robbie gets in to fight Axel. And again, certified Robbie hater. Loved how this went.
Dude, I hate Robbie.
Robbie loses again. Let's go.
He loses horrendously too.
Yeah, and I understand their whole idea of they're like, oh, I could. It's just dumb to me. Robbie's like, I could have won. You couldn't, bro. You were doing better when you got bodied, but like, you still got bodied. If you could have won, you would have not got bodied. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there is a nice moment between Johnny and Robbie though.
Yeah, there is. I'm just saying. Shut up, Robbie. You couldn't have won. Maybe you could have gotten into it. Like, it would have been close. But I'm like, after what I saw, I'm still not convinced that Robbie beats Axel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially if Axel were to like fight dirty.
Even if he didn't, though. I mean, you could say the classic, like, Axel was in the bad mind, you know, so he was doing worse. But even in his bad mind, he was still shitting on Robbie for the first half of that fight.
That's true. I would have to watch the whole thing again to be able to confidently say.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good
But
fight.
I don't disagree because I know Axel is pretty much a fucking tank.
Yeah, it was a good fight, but like Axel dogged on him for the first half. Then they do the classic freaking Robbie, think. And then he starts doing better. And then Axel notices he's doing better and breaks his leg or pops his knee or something, you know?
Yeah, destroys him.
Mm-hmm. And then Robbie goes, I could have won. It's like, you idiot. If you're so good, why didn't you
buddy,
dodge
keep
that
coping.
leg break, you know?
Yeah. Should have seen it coming. You didn't leave yourself so open.
Exactly. Proof once again that even if Robbie is good in tournaments, like, that's still like, you would lose in a real life fight if you're gonna let someone break your leg like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He's good at fighting when there's rules.
Yeah. So he loses, and then they pull him to the back. He's in like the medical zone, and he's like, I'm fucked, basically. It was a good scene though. I understand the purpose too. It's like they want Robbie to be able to do what Johnny couldn't, and like, you know, deal with his loss and not let it ruin his entire life.
Yeah.
And that was good. I liked that.
Yeah. And it was kind of a nice moment between them being like karate isn't the only thing that they have.
Yeah, he's like,
with each
I want
other.
a super hot girlfriend and a dad, and that's it. But, you know, I mean, something. And then they have a nice moment. Johnny walks out. And he like catches Kreese in the corner, and they like see. So then now he's like, it's over. Like, we're screwed. That's it. And the tournament guy, he's like, it looks like it's over unless Cobra Kai names a new person to replace Quan, because, you know, Quan died.
Yeah.
Then
out of nowhere,
which leaves us with just Tori and Sam. But I think after Robbie gets his freaking leg snapped, there's a conversation with Daniel and her at some point, which I'm not sure when it happens. It might have already happened at this point, but basically she decides she doesn't want to fight either. Did. Which this I didn't like. I was like, you're seriously going to quit now? Like,
putting your team in a pretty bad spot there, aren't you?
Yeah. Her whole thing was like, what is the point of like, I guess it kind of makes sense. Like, she was always fighting for a reason. You know, it was like, we need to stop Cobra Kai or stop Kreese. And now that everything is stopped, she's like,
I don't
I'm done.
have a reason to keep
yeah,
fighting.
she's like, I'm not actually into karate. I just did this because we had to. Whereas everyone else actually is into karate.
Doesn't Daniel have a really bad CGI conversation with Mr. Miyagi?
Yeah, I think so.
They have like a weird like fight calling of the past sort of thing, and then there's like a weird CGI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then Daniel like understands her, I think, because of that like dream or whatever reason it was he had that. He's like, you're right. The point of Miyagi-Do is to not need to fight, and now you don't need to. So that's good. And like, yeah, I guess that's good. But I mean, one more day, dog. Finish the tournament.
At least finish what you started.
Yeah. Then we get to the absolute peak moment of the show, I think. Maybe not of the show, but definitely of this part. Johnny pulls up on Kreese and he's like, sees him walking out. He's like, what the fuck, man? He's like, you do it, bro. You do it. You're good at this.
What?
The Johnny Kreese thing.
They're basically just like, Johnny goes up to Kreese and he's like, did he immediately like be like, I forgive you?
No, he didn't forgive him. He was like, I idolized you or something.
Oh yeah, he's like, I held you up as a hero. You were like a god to me. You controlled my happiness, and then
like everything good about me, karate and being a badass.
Yeah, you taught me everything I knew. You taught me you gave me my confidence, my everything. And then the day when he lost the tournament, and like shit on him pretty much as hard as possible. It was like the worst day of his life, and he resented him for it. And I don't think he can ever forgive him.
That was the worst day of my life. And then Johnny starts crying. He's like crazy. I was like, damn. And he's like, you abandoned me. Fuck you, basically.
Yeah.
And then you see Kreese
basically
actually
like
be
a
like,
father-son
damn,
thing.
I did do that. And he's like sad about it.
Yeah, Kreese is like, I'm sorry for making my problems your problems. Like, no adult should do that.
That was so good. I really liked that scene a lot.
Yeah, that was good.
And then he's like, I wish I could make it up to you. And then Johnny goes, wait a minute. Now that you mention it.
Maybe you can.
And then we get one of the most badass pull-ups, a straight anime moment, dude.
Oh my god, I know. I remember watching this and I was like in my chair bouncing. I was like, this is so hype.
It was so hype. Especially because like, what is the one thing everyone's always wanted to see since freaking like season 3 when it all fell apart? Everyone wanted to see my boy, Miguel and Johnny, back together and back in Cobra Kai.
Yeah. Dude, and we even got fucking Daniel in the Cobra Kai gi.
Yeah, that was awesome. But we have like this badass walking out moment. It's like, they're like, Miguel, they announce on the speakers that Miguel's the new Cobra Kai main guy. And then him and Tori are like walking out all badass, and then Johnny walks out too, and it's like, yes.
And then Silver's furious, so like, how is this even possible?
Like they're former Cobra Kai.
Because he was originally Cobra Kai. He's like, damn.
I'll take it. Also, actually, there's one thing we forgot to mention. There's an earlier scene where they like mimic the part from season 1 with Johnny and Miguel sitting on the step, you know, like they're on the curb outside the old Cobra Kai dojo.
Oh yeah. He's like, I don't want to, like, I'm not hungry or something, and he's like,
he's basically like
what they talk about.
Miguel's like, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do this for Robbie, and then Johnny's like, nah, man, just do it for you.
Yeah, win or lose, give him the best 2 minutes of karate you've ever done.
Yeah,
it was basically the end for him. He was going to go to school. Go off to college.
And then we get to see freaking finally non-mentally, like, I don't know what you call it, like
blockaded.
Yeah, not freaking tricked by Sam into sucking. Miguel is back, baby. And he goes up against Axel, and it's one of the top fights of the show, probably. Like, he's just pounding on him.
It was a pretty peak fight.
Miguel's treating Axel like Axel treated Robbie, honestly. Like he's just going crazy on him. It was good. I just love Miguel. He's my favorite character.
Dude, I'm so happy both of those fights weren't close.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I agree.
And then like Tori had her fight with that one social media girl.
Yeah, and that one actually was
And
close
fucking-
at first, but then Tori was like, let me lock in.
And Tori locked in. And then she just fucking kicked all her teeth out.
Yeah, that was crazy. Tori absolutely destroyed the girl. Like, it was a brutalization. And then when she said, welcome to the valley, bitch, I was like, hell yeah.
That was such a good callback. So she's like, welcome to Barcelona.
Oh, man. That was so good. I think that girl might be one of my, like, more favorite bad guys as far as, like, the kids' enemies.
Yeah. They did a good job at making me dislike her.
Yeah. And she was still badass. Like, it's not like she was a bad fighter. She was actually, like, pretty good.
She was a threat in a way.
Yeah. So watching Tori kick her ass was sick. Watching Axel get fucking bodied by Miguel. But there's also a good Axel moment.
Yeah, I was about to say, is Axel Sensei called him over and was like, he has this weakness when he does a roundhouse where you can exploit it and absolutely cripple the kid.
Like, his spine was broken before, so it's still weak.
Break it again.
Break his spine. And then Axel's like, I can beat him without doing that. And maybe. I mean, if they fought a couple of times, I'm sure Axel would win some of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like Miguel is 100% always better than Axel, but in this specific situation, he came up on top.
I would say they're close in strength.
Yeah. So Axel decides to fight fair, and I was like, hell yeah, dude, Axel. Good job. But unfortunately...
Yeah, but it was shown earlier on that he would.
Yeah, he ends up losing, unfortunately. But then he has another good scene where after he loses, his sensei's like, I'm ashamed of you. And then Axel's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm ashamed of you. He's like, I'll never have to be ashamed of being your student again. And he walks away, and I'm like, damn, let's go, Axel, join Cobra Kai.
Maybe do that when I would have done that sooner.
Yeah, I would have done that after he punched me in the face. No, but to be fair, Johnny also used to punch them in the face, though.
Yeah, but he did it abusively. Johnny did it lovingly.
Yeah.
Johnny did it to be like, get used to getting hit.
Yeah, the other guy was like, why are you so dog shit? Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. So they rack up the points. Turns out it was a freaking tie.
Yep. So now, first Tekai rules. The senseis must fight.
Crazy rule, but I love it.
I mean, it makes sense.
It does make sense, I guess. And I actually liked this is like pretty much our first time seeing Johnny not confident about a situation, and like for a reasonable reason. He's like, yeah, like I'm not as young as this guy anymore.
The wolf guy is crazy.
And also Johnny's much older.
Yeah, that's true too.
So then we have like episode 5 of that, the final episode. We get there, and the first half of it is Johnny training montage, like straight out of Rocky, basically.
Yeah, this is the last episode, right?
Yeah.
It opens with Johnny. This is, I think, kind of important. It's at Johnny way before Cobra Kai started, like the show itself. And it's at him at his mom's grave.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And he has like this really like kind of sad like conversation with her.
About how he's a loser.
Where he's pretty much like, he's like a loser. He has nothing. He's done nothing. He peaked in high school. Nothing to be proud of. Nothing to like show for himself. And so yeah, that happened. But then it moves on to like him training for this fight.
It's cool too, where he asked Daniel to be his sensei.
Yeah, he was like, I need you to be my sensei. So then they have like a cool little training montage where like even like The students are helping.
Yeah, the
him
whole
get trained.
town's like fucking helping. Is crazy. Loved
Yeah.
it. Straight out of Rocky. It was awesome.
He had his Rocky moment. Oh, and then small thing is like at the actual fight, the day of the fight, Dimitri and that one girl get back together.
That was dumb.
That
Why
was
are you
dumb,
getting back together with someone who cheated on you?
right? Bro did not learn his lesson.
He paid zero
And
price.
And then what's his fate? Like Wolfgang or whatever? I don't know his actual name.
His Wolf.
The other
They
sensei.
just call him Sensei Wolf.
Yeah, Sensei Wolf like intimidates Johnny in like the locker
Yeah, it
room.
actually kind of works because Daniel tells him the classic bullshit. He's like, even if you lose, you still win because you have a happy family. And then the dude in the locker room, he's like, yeah, you might have a happy family, but if you lose, you're a fucking loser. Everyone's gonna think you're a loser. They'll make fun of your fucking kid. They'll be like, remember that time your dad lost pathetically in front of the whole town on live television, you fucking idiot.
Wolf perfectly plays on every insecurity Johnny has.
And honestly, man, he's right. Just win, and then you don't have that problem.
Yeah.
And then you can see Johnny's upset, so he's like struggling in the fight. And they're like, no, Johnny's losing. What do we do? He's already down. And then...
Dude, and we get these guys in the bar being like, there's no way Johnny's gonna win.
The guys from like the whole freaking series, like the pawn shop guy and the like gas station guy that have interacted with him every so often.
Yeah. There's no way this guy's gonna win.
And then Chosen's like, well, you know him better than anyone, Daniel. Teach him how he needs to be taught. And then Daniel's like, that's it, Cobra Kai. And then what does he say to him, Bert? Do you remember?
No, I don't, and I wish I
He's like,
did.
Johnny, stop being a little pussy.
Yeah, that's right. That's so good, especially coming from Daniel.
Yeah.
Never would have expected it.
It's like, is there defeat in your
Oh,
dojo? Is there whatever the other ones are? Is there pain in your dojo? And Johnny's like, no, yes, sensei. And he fucking goes out there hyped and ready now.
Yeah, and then an earlier conversation that Daniel was having with Johnny, where they were talking about how Daniel won the All Valley tournament all those years ago. And it was because Johnny charges in like a bull and pretty much ran into Daniel's kick. And he was like, remember that when you're fighting. Like,
I also like that
Kinda
Daniel
like-
basically admitted that Johnny was better than him. He just was angry
got lucky. Yeah.
at the time.
So then,
they're
yeah,
even
maybe
now.
not now.
I mean, when they fought that in
Well,
that
it
one
was like-
episode, remember they literally tied.
yeah, well, it was even in that, like when Daniel was saying, like, I was only training for 2 weeks. There was no way I should have won that. But yet I did because you ran into my kick.
There's no way I should have won that.
So, like, even he acknowledged the like,
Yeah, that's
the
true.
bull in the china shop sort of thing.
Uh,
So then, like, Johnny was, like, about to run in there and do what he did all those years ago that caused him to lose. But then he had, like, a change of heart looking over at Daniel. And he readjusts his footing. And then the wolf instead charges at him. And Johnny purposely, like, redirects him and counters him, winning. It's so cool.
yeah, that's how he gets his first point or two, I think. But his last one was all Cobra Kai, which is awesome. And Johnny actually ends up winning, dog shitting on him. And this guy, while he is a terrible person because he beats the shit out of children, he accepted his defeat pretty gracefully. I was not expecting that. He just bowed and left. I guess because it's the final season, they're like, well, can't have him be too angry.
Can't really make it worse.
You know? So,
Yeah, well, his whole thing was just wanting to win to get his dojo back. There's that much he can do after losing.
yeah, that's true.
Silver was the psychotic one trying to drag it out. Oh, we totally forgot to talk about Silver and Kreese's fight.
We did. It happens right before the Johnny fight. It happens after the Johnny.
Well, there's a nice moment
finish
between
talking.
Kreese and Tori.
I already mentioned that. Oh, you're talking about the other one. After.
Yeah, the last
Yeah,
one.
but it's like from a distance, that one. Yeah, it's like when they walk out as
like he's there.
It's like when they walk out as Cobra Kai, Tori and Miguel and Johnny, like they just have a nod to each other where he smiles at her and she smiles back at him, remember?
Yeah, and then he disappears.
Yeah, then he disappears. And then that's where we get into the Kreese Silver stuff, if you wanted to talk about that.
We find out that Silver is dying from, I'm assuming, cancer.
Yeah, something.
Or some terminal disease. And he is pretty pissed that, like, Cobra Kai is fighting. So he won't, I forget exactly what he does.
He's traded, like, every bit of his fortune, pretty much, just because he wants to fuck them up one more time. Something.
Yeah, he wants to drag them down with him.
So he's on the boat now. Now that they're on Cobra Kai, he's, like, on the phone, and he's like, I need you to go attack and kidnap his newborn child.
Yeah, that's
right.
So
that Johnny can't fight in his fight tomorrow. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's insane. So then the guy's like, okay, and he walks out.
I'm on it. And then you hear like some bit of fighting, and then a neck snap. And then Silver's like, I wonder what's going on. And he stands up. And he just smashes a bottle, like straight out of like a movie. Holds it. And he's like, who's there? Like they would respond. And he goes up there and he finds out it's Kreese.
Over a dead body.
Like, finally. So he's like, you're gonna leave them alone. And they get into a little bit of a tussle. Oh my god. It's actually a pretty cool fight.
It was a good fight. It's just the circumstances that are ridiculous. Like,
yeah. It was like something out of John Wick.
Exactly. On a yacht.
Yeah, it's like, how did he even get out there without getting hurt or spotted?
Or wet.
Yeah, like how did he dry out? Like,
if he took a boat, they would have heard him. If he swam, he should be wet.
Yeah, or did he get there, have a change of clothes, or did he wait to air dry before?
He was on the boat for a couple hours.
Yeah, sunbathing on the roof.
Oh my god. But anyways, they have a fight. It's a pretty good fight. They're knocking over all this shit. Gasoline spilling, tables destroyed.
Yeah, Silver gets Kreese in like pretty serious chokehold. It's looking quite dire. But then Kreese like notices his cigar is just out of reach, so he starts reaching for it. And Silver at first is like, "What are you doing?" And then he like turns around and sees like the spilled gasoline everywhere. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "You crazy son of a bitch! Don't you dare!"
No! And then right as in slow motion, as Kreese throws the cigar.
Throws the cigar right into the gasoline, causing it to explode. Like straight out of Deadpool 2.
This was so ridiculous, but like, what can you do? You've built this character up to be so insane that there's no way he stops unless he dies. I mean, I guess you could have let him naturally die, but
equally insane. Even jail didn't stop him.
Yeah, right. Even jail didn't stop him.
Like, you have to kill him.
Yeah, so Kreese and Silver explode and die, and are never seen
Kreese
again.
dies a hero.
Which, I'm glad Kreese got redeemed. It's a little bit too ridiculous, but I'll let it slide because of how good everything else was.
Yeah, and there's this view of the scale they built Silver up to be. Kind of had to do something equally.
The only other thing they could have done was let him die of, like, he could have gotten so sick he couldn't do anything else. But
that would have been kind of poetic too. He died without accomplishing anything.
Yeah. But now both of them are out, and like we said earlier, Johnny wins his fight. And then he's like, oh yeah. So they give him his trophy. He's holding up the trophy. He won the Sekai Taikai. Now literally has a better achievement than Daniel ever did in karate. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's actually the best karate guy in the world.
Yeah, and then they have a throwback to the first Karate Kid where Daniel's like, you're all right. Which is what Johnny said to him in the first movie. I was like, hell yeah. And then he's like, grab the trophy with me and hold it up. This is peak. And everything was just peak. Yeah. Everything was awesome. Kenny has this one line where he goes, yeah, in the background.
Yeah, there's just a little subplot with Sam, right? Going to Japan.
Yeah.
for her
Oh, yeah.
schooling.
I was so worried that was gonna screw up Miguel because she didn't tell him.
Yeah, because it was
and then
happening.
he found the
because
letter
Miguel
right before
found out
his
during the
fight.
fight.
I was like, "You're kidding! No, she's doing it again."
Yeah, but Miguel, thank God they had a healthy relationship, and Miguel was like, "I'm actually super happy for you.
Yeah, I was so scared.
Like, this is a good opportunity."
If this wasn't the last season, she would have just ruined his fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And then at the end, where as Sam's about to go on her airplane flight, Miguel shows up and is like, "You know what? I'm actually gonna come with
He's
you."
like, I got all summer. Oh, Miguel ends up getting accepted by his school of choice, so his ending is happy. And then Robbie and Tori. I understand Tori. Robbie, I feel like Robbie got lucky. He's just dating the right person. That's why he got it. But Tori is offered like a sponsorship deal to be like a karate fighter because she's the world champion of girls karate. And then
I feel like that's probably why Robbie got offered too.
well, they specifically said to him they offer him one too, and
you're right.
People want to see that couple in action because they kissed on camera after she won. So he's literally I mean, he's still good, but they pretty much the main reason they offered it to him was because people want to see a karate couple. But I mean, it helps that he got second, or I guess third, really.
Yeah. But,
a little bit. I feel like they should offer Miguel something, even if he wouldn't take it, because he is the actual champion. Just saying.
Yeah, well, he got his college that he wanted to go to.
Yeah, that's true. But so Tori is now set. Robbie's set. They're doing commercials. Sam's going to Okinawa, and then Miguel's going with her for the summer, and then he's going to college. And then we find out that Dimitri and Eli decided to not go to fucking MIT, which he talked about every day, and instead go with Eli and binary bro up wherever he said he was going. I forgot.
Yeah, some other pretentious Stanford.
It's basically just all... Everyone had a happy ending, pretty much, except for Kreese. But I mean, he kind of had it too, because he was redeemed at least.
Yeah, he was able to say goodbye to the people he cared about.
Yeah.
Oh, and then at the very end, we go back to Johnny's mom's grave, and he has everyone there.
Yeah, and he has like a picture there of his new family, and he got the trophy. It's just Johnny's a freaking hero, and Cobra Kai is opened up again. He's a sensei again.
Yeah. Even that one dude.
Stingray.
That one fatter dude. Yeah, Stingray is there, and he's flipping the new people into shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. I thought it was a good ending. Now that the series is over, first, how would you rate those last 5 episodes? I think it was not peak of the whole show, but I think I would give it... I was going to say 8. 8 seems good. And then how would you rate the entire show? Whole thing?
Like a 9.
I agree.
8,
I
9.
totally agree. 9. I think 9 is very good. Very good show.
Really good. I don't remember any particular season being miserable.
Yeah. I think that...
remember it all being enjoyable.
Like, it's so rare that there's a show that you can be like, it's all good, you know, like watch it. It doesn't get bad after a certain amount of time. It's not slow to get good. Like, it just watch Cobra Kai. It's good. No explanation needed, you know?
Yeah.
I loved it. It's one of my favorite shows, I think, ever.
It was a ride. It was an experience. That's for sure.
It was good. I'm excited for the...
I remember when it came out on YouTube Red.
I did too. I watched the whole first season on YouTube Red.
Me too.
It was great. Loved it. It's one of my favorite shows. Even though it's not really that connected, I'm pretty excited for the Karate Kid movie coming in the summer, I think.
If it's the same quality as the show, I'm pretty excited.
From the trailer, the fight, like, choreography looks pretty high level. Like, it looked cool.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm happy about it. I saw something. This is where it could now get bad, where they're considering doing spin-offs of it, which I don't know what that would be. Maybe Dimitri and Eli or something. I don't know.
The Binary Bros show.
I could see that being okay, but
I don't want it.
Yeah, it's not like I want it. I would probably check it out, like, because I really like Hawk, but I don't know. It just seems weird to not be in a karate setting, you know? Like, they're just going to be kicking people's ass in school. Like, what?
They're going to be fighting college bullies, defending the nerds.
Yeah. It'd be good to see, like, you know, maybe, like, what do you call them? Like, in anime, they'd be like an OVA, you know, just like a special. Like a 20-minute
like 3
special or
episodes
something.
Or whatever.
Of
that'd
that.
be cool.
But I don't think that should be a whole show, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's good. Really, really good. Watch the show. It's great.
I enjoyed it.
I think that wraps up this episode, unless you have anything specific you want to say about it.
No, I just watch it if you haven't.
Yeah, it's great. That covers everything, guys. So next week off, and then hopefully he'll be back. I don't know. And we'll do those last 2 episodes of Invincible. I'll have to remember them because at that point it will have been a month. But
I'll probably rewatch them.
Most likely it'll be the last
hard.
2 episodes of Invincible in our next episode. And then after that, I don't know. But 2 weeks from now, we'll see everyone. So, Bert, hit him with the thing.
Keep it salty.